Every year, thousands of wannabe actors, writers, and directors come here hoping to make the big break into show business. One of the hopeful is Ted Newsom. He plans to get his foot in the door using the time-honored way of making a low-budget monster movie.
I'm the producer of this picture, now called The Naked Monster. It was called a number of other things. Attack of the B-Movie Monster, originally. You know, it may be called 6 other things between now and the time somebody sees it. Actually, the first time I thought about doing this was the first time I met an actor named Kenneth Tobey. And I always was a fan of his. He did films like The Thing, the original version of The Thing back in the 50s, and Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, a series called The Whirlybirds. And I said to him at the time, I want to do a movie with you one of these days, where you're a crusty old monster fighter. And so about 10 years ago, I called him on it, and I said, let's do it. He said, okay, and he gave me a couple of days, and that was the beginning of this project.
You guys gotta be kidding.
The film is basically a parody of the monster movies of the 1950s.
I corralled several friends of mine who were actors into doing it, and lots of character actors from pictures from the 50s and 60s, like John Agar and Les Tremayne and Ken Tobey, of course. Originally, the idea was to do something that would look like a movie that would show up on Channel 13 at 3 o'clock in the morning. So we shot the effects in black and white. The effects were done in stop motion with an articulated puppet that was about a foot high, moved one frame at a time. A couple of years ago, I decided that what I'd like to do is make this into a feature for video, for cable, or whatever, take the risk, because it works with an audience. I think it'd work in that venue. But since the effects were shot in black and white, I had to redo all the effects. So right now we're in the process of shooting new monster footage. It's a man in a monster suit, which is another way of, it's the way Godzilla was done, not necessarily the new Godzilla, but all the old ones. And there are benefits to it. The drawbacks, of course, are that some poor chump has to be inside this big sweaty rubber suit. And we found somebody who was dumb enough to go along with that.
High up in the Angeles National Forest, Newsom directs his new monster as he reshoots the scene of the monster attacking the car.
Yeah, okay. All right, now hold it up to your eyes and look at it. And cut.
We've been pretty lucky. We haven't gotten arrested. We got through the whole shooting earlier with hardly an incident. We shot up at the Griffith Observatory and almost got popped there because we're shooting without permits, you know, without insurance and all these kind of things. These are important things, to be sure. It's good to have insurance. It's good to have permits. It's good to have all those things, but they also cost a lot of money.
Another day of shooting is finished.
And we have shot the monster, and he's super. Oh, shooting was actually top-notch. We didn't get arrested twice.
To complete this ultra-low-budget movie, Newsom has recruited friends, co-workers, and sometimes bystanders for his cast and crew. He even offered me a role in his film. For Valley View, this is Philip Dye reporting.